We have a soldier out there that's looking for help, and I'm out here because they've solicited advice across Reddit about what I would say is probably one of the biggest jokes, and that is that dependents or military spouses have the toughest job out there, but for some reason continue to do shit like this. He titles it, Military Wife Cheating. Looks like a P title. It may seem that I'm not completely serious with all the jokes, but that's my good old trusted coping mechanism. I agree with that. I do that too, but it says, background, married to a best friend of mine, she had lots of partners during our friendship, some over 30 with lots of drama, cheating, etc. Me being me, got into lots of drama as well, so we shared our troubles regularly. Like a makeshift therapy session, later we got together, but a vibe of trusted friends still being with us. I could describe our relationship as nearly perfect, with a good share of troubles, yet with a good share of communication and dealing with problems together. It came to be a motto, quotations, any problem can be solved with your mouth. No reference to oral whatsoever. All that looked like a good, healthy relationship with a base of that kind of trust you can see in best friends. He avoided the big red flag. He saw the promiscuity of this woman for how long before he decided to make her an official woman in his life in this framework. And it's like, dude, you already saw it. She had cheating issues. She was with multiple people all the time. And you thought you were going to be different. And we all know we like to think we're different, but this military marriage story just continues down the chaotic neutral of what we see as the typical military marriage. Then the war started, and I could not help but volunteer at front line and then enlisted in the actual army. It was my choice, not legal obligation, yet I could not stay home like for my moral obligations. That hit our relationship hard with her staying at home, coping with all that war-related, feeling troubled about being in the deepest of, and feeling alone and abandoned. On the other side of the equation was me, PTSD, F, and depressed, and able to support her in any reasonable way and going more and more down with every talk with her. Now, granted, you chose to volunteer to deploy from what it sounds like, but you also can't give this girl a pass as she's sitting at home from what your words are, that she's done absolutely nothing. And woe is me, she's got a PTSD boyfriend. You know, she married you, from what this sounds like, in sickness and in health to try and support you. But that's not what we're getting here. So I understand that you come back and you say you have your flaws, but where is the accountability of this girl for a little bit in your story? Or maybe this is part of your coping mechanism to try and paint her still in this positive light. I can't really point why, but as the got to the deep to handle, I gathered the last of my will and tried to steer our communication towards some better, and I did better. We tried to reconcile and come to terms with my leave for Army. We talked like a lot lately, and increasingly more on sexual stuff. Talked about trying 3 things, swinging on the tree branch, among other kinky stuff. Some days later, she called me at night, literally crying that she made up with our common friend F, married, we'll call her V, who stayed overnight at our place for some reason. I'm waving the red flag. Oh my God. Waving the flag. So to solve your marriage issues that you were having, you said, let's add more people to this. That is the best idea. I love how people are like, we need to add kids. We need to start seeing other people, open it up, or start swinging it out, or whatever it is. And it's like, that's what it is. We're just not happy with each other, so let's just add more people to this already snowball of a problem. He says, to put some perspective, V, her husband, call him X, so V and X, my wife and me before wartime worked at the same place. Lately, my wife works shifts with X as her partner, and as I visited them at work, I could not help but notice some strange vibe between them, like she got quotations touchy with X, which I pointed out and got an explanation in the lines of that the usual vibe, like very friendly one. Still, asked her to stop as I was feeling uneasy. If this happened after you had this conversation, this means your girl had an inkling, an open door, a welcoming message of, I am okay with other people coming into this relationship, which, mind you, these people were friends, X and V. But when I look at it, I'm like, you don't just get a pass to touch your friend's husband. That's not how this works. And you need to create clear barriers as what you expect as a husband And how is it these people are dealing with this and allowing this to be the case? Like, simplify your problems. I'm surprised you're not part of the Marine Corps. Uncomplicated shit made complicated. USMC. Let's go, baby. I had a few days of vacation, and we had some more serious talks about swinging and stuff. So she proposed to get with V and X. Obviously, that was already on the way. Inexplicably, we did the very next day, and X was very tense about it afterwards. Yet we let it slide. We had lots of talk with wife about that, and got to the topic of cheating like first time through our whole relationship. We reassured each other that the trust is above everything, and if some cheaty stuff ever happened, we could talk to each other no matter what. Spoiler alert, she's already cheating at this point. Obviously, like I said, after that swing experience and deep relationship talks, I felt pretty buffed about it. I felt better than ever, and that changed the way we communicated after my vacation was over. Like, way more positive and supporting on both sides. Well, I would say she probably felt better because she's like, okay, so we've rebuilt this. I can communicate with him. At least we've talked about the swing stuff. He's okay with it. So what I'm doing is not technically wrong. So it made it fueled even better to make it seem like what she was doing is totally okay. If anything, you've given her another pass of the power to her to say, it's okay, you're my spouse or military wife, and you get to just keep doing what you're doing while I get screwed over by the green weenie and my spouse. Keep doing that. A few weeks later, I managed to get another vacation, being right now as I write this post. Things changed a bit. X and V got into some trouble with their landlord, and wife lets them stay in our house for a while. Also, they are neck deep in their relationship-wise, to the point of self-harming nearly as V and alcohol abusing X. The day I arrive, which is today, all three of them are there at work for a 24-hour shift. X and my wife working on the same team. Flags going left and right. Buddy, you are a person, a spouse, a military member. You're paying for this place that you live in. And your wife invited two random people that are not part of your relationship and brought their problems and now made them your problems. I don't care how many battle buddies you got. This guy's not a battle buddy, obviously, but no matter how many battle buddies you got or whoever's coming in, no matter how close you are, you don't bring their stuff into your house. You don't allow a stray dog to shit in your house. That's just the way this works. But it sounds like both of these relationships said, we're not doing well. We're really bad. Let's add other people to it. And it's just caused a bigger cluster. So as I'm home alone feeling a little H, got to watch some P, I grab her laptop with no other big screen available because that's your house and you have a TV in your house that you should be able to be naked in your living room and doing whatever you want. It says open up, get into with the T's, which I'm like, you're all over the place. I don't even know what you're into. It says, boom, right in my face, Viber push notification, X writing literal quotations, I love you to my wife, and S, me not. I reach for their messaging, and of which I'm deeply sorry. I should not have done such an abdominal thing. No, I would say you had enough reason to go through her stuff as she's violated your trust, and I would not feel guilty over that. Here goes all the stuff, sexting, describing their interactions in great detail. Yet more hurtful was the quotations, I love you, literally scattered all over from both of them. You know, literally 2 weeks after deep relationship talks and profound trust buildup. And granted, you and V, the relationship buddy of X, have not made clear, defined lines of what is expected from your relationship. You guys suck. That's what this is. I speak of this from experience. I've been this person that's made bad boundaries. Not like this, but, you know, this is some bad boundaries. So, looking at this, you should not feel bad about looking through her stuff. She is a person that invited random strangers into her house, has a relationship actively with one of them, is friends with another, and it doesn't sound like they're paying anything, and they brought their crap to your house. I would be pissed off. Says, okay, bro, inhale, exhale, first thought. It's a late night, gotta wait for her to come back from shift with V and X. By the way, as they were staying at our place, yes, we already know that, and confront her. Next thought, I will effing undo myself if I won't talk to her immediately. So I did. Called her in the middle of the night shift, and honestly cannot remember what I told her or what she told me. Obviously, you're dealing with a lot of stress, and you can't hold on to that. That is understandable. And she deserves to be confronted as soon as possible, unless you're trying to be some vindictive, like playing this out. So a few hours later, I practiced some good old self-harm. Do not condone that, which I did the last time some 6 to 7 years ago. which I find pretty effective way to reduce anxiety and find peace of mind, which I would say you need to go find some help with your military services that you can, because in my opinion, that's a better off situation than that by any means. His wife managed to get home in the middle of the night shift for like 2 hours, and we talked hell out of the situation. For F's sake, she was regretful as F, literally crying, swearing she wanted to tell me herself, but couldn't find the courage to tell me by phone. Told me she was doing that for the past month, out of loneliness and being angry for me enlisting to the Army. Also told me that the latest buff in our long-distance relationship encouraged her to tell me the truth, and she was just waiting for me to come home for vacation. So you are the blame for her loneliness. You are the person she's projecting that back onto, because you left to do something better for yourself, which was joining the military, and obviously something commendable to actually go and serve, which I think most people would say is a pretty selfless thing. Now, let's not get on war hero, pat yourself on the back, but let's get to this point of you need to hold this B accountable. That's what you need. She's looking for a sympathy card, and the fact that she, just was waiting for the right time. No, there wasn't a right time. The right time was to do it before she actually did it. That's what she needed to do, but she didn't do that. And yes, she may be regretful, but I got to tell so many men out there right now, stop listening to these women. Do not listen to them. Do not talk to them. Just shut that out, because none of that matters, right? She's proven already she's a liar. Pay attention to her actions. What has she done? She's, for weeks or however long this affair has been going on, has continuously talked to this guy. And you continue to let her get pass after pass after pass. There is no line in the sand. You have been walked over. You're being trampled. He says, I couldn't even feel anger or disgust, or else I just tried my best not to hurt her with my words, which I would say she deserves. She needs some accountability, as she seemed hurt enough by herself. I couldn't find any urge to break up either. I just tried to comfort her and then decide what to do. So you've only reaffirmed, it's okay. It's okay that you made a little potty mistake in her house and you shit everywhere. No, stop. No, she doesn't get a fucking pass. We talked a lot. She told me it will not happen again. They all say that it's going to happen again. We both said that from now on, there has to be only one truth between us. I asked her to tell me the story in detail, and she did. She told me about X comforting her when she cried out of loneliness. Told me she felt some deep attraction to X, and that very next sentence, that it was only S. Physical, we talked about saving our relationship and regaining trust and all around that. She literally asked me to call her names, to say something offensive, or even hit her. I couldn't do a thing. She knew she effed up. She knew she needed some accountability. You gave none of that. She needed it. What you needed to do is leave her. That is the punishment you needed to do, but you didn't do it. And you had every pass to do it. Now, she says this was not emotional. This was just physical. Let's stop there. She told you what it was for. She told you it was because of the fact she was lonely. So what she did is she went and took her lonely emotions and went to another man with those emotions. And then she was comforted in a physical way. She should have went to you to do that because you were in a marriage with her, but she didn't do that. She decided to console in somebody else and go outside of the marriage. So this is not a physical thing. This is entirely emotional. And that's why I think most women cheat. Then X came to grab her for the rest of the shift, and I comforted him as well, which you're dumb as well for doing that. He doesn't deserve a pass. As I'm literally a right wing as head serving in the Army. No, you're not. You're not a... All right, you have trauma. It's pretty obvious from what I'm seeing, and that you're allowing this to come into your life and allow this to happen. It's very bad. It's what trauma people like myself have done as well. X seemed to wait for physical treatment, as he described quotations, a knife to the chest the moment I stepped through the door. I literally could do that mentally, yet I felt no aggression. We talked a bit, as was not on the talkative side, yet expressed his regret, saying he, quotation, screwed up big time. Wife told him outright that the affair must stop, yet insisted on staying friends and work partners, which I asked her not to. All right, so she's going against what you already need in order to make this even work. You're saying in order to make us work, don't talk to him, no contact, which are very reasonable things, by the way, if this is going to work, you're going to make this marriage happen. But she's already saying that's not going to be the case. And I'm sure you would have been like, well, if you're going to quit this job, he's got to quit, you got to quit, one of the two, and that's got to be the case, even if this is going to work. They're not going to be friends. They can't be friends. That is the end of this friendship. They've already crossed that line. Somebody's got to go out of this three-way love triangle thing that's going on, and if that's the case, you have a choice as the poster of this to leave, but you probably are trying not to leave because you're having her as this bedrock, where you're in the military and this is what it is. So now they both left for the rest of the night, and I'm all by myself with all this S. Great. You should have packed your stuff and left already. I don't know what to do, like, for real. I want to try to put everything back in trust and love lines. Not going to happen, and I love my wife. Yet I'm not sure how I'll treat her later on. I am scared of bringing up this topic now and then, turning a relationship into a nightmare. I'm scared of not being able to trust her again. I am hella scared that my love for her will change into anger or disgust. I don't want to hurt her, and I'm not sure I will be able to manage this properly. If a relationship will survive, I overheard a similar drama happening to my roommate, and that's unbearable to love, yet to be disgusted by her. What you need is to be validated, and that's why you want to talk about this. So you need to talk about it. You don't get one-time conversation, oh, this entire cheating thing is done. No, it is repetitive talks. It's going to be so repetitive that both of you are tired of talking about it. That's what it's going to take in order to fix this relationship. And on top of that, you don't want to hurt her. She deserves to have some kind of hurt. For every equal action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. She deserves something. And that reaction could be, I don't know, you leaving and you figuring that out. Also, what the F should I do about X and V situation? I think about that nearly as much as about my own situation. And I feel I should tell V her husband cheated on her. Yet considering her self-harming nearly to state, I'm outright afraid to tell her. Wife and ex also asked me not to tell her a thing, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to play that role in the morning when the four of us will be cramped in our house. I feel like all of us are in deep S, and I feel like I can't help it at all. Tomorrow I must leave for the army camp, so I don't have enough time to sort this out. Whatever advice you have, I'm willing to take. As I thought of my closest friends, I couldn't think of any person who would advocate for saving this relationship, so I'm in dire need for such reassurance. Now, that's because nobody wants to reassure you that this is something you should actually save. Walk away. What are you staying for? These people are manipulating you and V in order to try and keep something going while still allowing you guys to stay and live in the house, but also try and keep it under wraps. This girl may be having her own issues. Tell her, get her out of this situation. It's not going to make their situation any better. You need to leave the situation. You need to leave these two out in the dust because that's where they deserve to be for the rest of their lives. So I'm going to tell you guys, that's my thoughts on this. I've learned a lot through my own military relationships. This is not healthy. Stay out of it. I've given way too many people passes. It sounds like you probably have some kind of need or reassurance to have people around you. You need to find other people besides this girl to be your support system because right now it is unhealthy and you need to find something else. I'm not going to therapy this by any means, but I will say I've learned a lot from my own traumas and my own issues in the past and have reflected them into my current day. And I've let people like this get passes I should have never given a pass. So that is my story on this. What do you guys think about this guy's situation? What do you think I should do? Please let me know down in the comments below. And please let me know any crazy stories from military relationships that for some reason go in this path or the same direction over and over and over again. I'd love to hear what you guys think. As always, hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.